Chappell, Roan.
Finally, new rule: to mark the October 7th anniversary, we must launch a campaign to educate young Americans about the Middle East. And the way I'd like to begin that process is by addressing an open letter to Chappell, Roan.
You made a great point when you mentioned Palestinians being able to change when given the chance to. If they weren't under occupation, Palestinians don't have the time to change. It's not trans just yet, but it's something that takes time, especially when you're fighting for your life. I wish more people understood that. Americans will never understand that, because the most dramatic life-altering shift that happens to Americans is when the $5 jalapeno popper at Applebee's is now $6. Okay? That is the worst kind of fucking horrifying, like, that is the most unimaginable cruelty to an American, okay? American when no burger, okay? We are the burger nation. American when no burger is like, oh my God, please don't tell me, issue trigger warning, please, before mentioning no burger to American. I burger American. Don't do it. Nation of fucking spoiled children.
Now, to those viewers who aren't watching this while also looking at their phones, let me explain. Chappell, Roan is not the name of one of Trump's golf courses. She's actually a great new recording artist who, like a Hezbollah pager, is really blowing up.
Fuck you, piece of shit. That's... Oh, my God. Okay.
In just a few months, she went from a struggling artist to getting 3 billion plays on Spotify.
Once again, I must remind you that the Hezbollah pager, simple meme for Bill Maher, basically fucking maimed 2,000 plus people, including first responders, nurses, and also members of the Lebanese parliament. And last but not least, it killed 2 children. Okay? Like kids, like little babies. Okay? Just a reminder of the types of terrorism that Bill Maher thinks is funny. Now, of course, besides that point, this is Mr. Religulous. Okay? He's Mr. Atheist. Who's doing the act of terror? Would it shock you to find out that it was a religious a religious ethno-state that was conducting this act of terror while simultaneously maintaining an apartheid? Of course, Bill Maher makes he allows that kind of thing to occur. He doesn't care about that.
Spotify, netting her almost 11 cents.
You just called them people, kids, and babies? Yes, dude. What are you supposed to say about a fucking 9-year-old? What am I supposed to call a fucking 9-year-old who exploded in the pager terror attack? A person? Like what? An adult? A 9-year-old adult woman child? What am I supposed to say?
But here's what caught my eye. She seems like a Gen Zer who can be reached, because I saw her on TMZ say,
it's like, obviously, fuck the policies of the right, but also fuck some of the policies on the left.
Yeah, Bill Maher heard this and was like, maybe she hates trans people. That's what he probably thought.
that sounds like something I would say.
Yeah. Oh, I was right. He was like, maybe she was saying, fuck trans people. Am I right? I'm Bill Maher.
She also said, I think it's important that people use critical thinking. I think it's important for me to question myself, question my algorithm, question, is some person that tweeted something about someone else even true? Preach, queer ally, preach. But then we get to Israel. And Chappell, this is where we must put to the test your pledge to use critical thinking and to question whether what you're reading on social media is true, because it isn't. There's a whole history of the Middle East that you and your fans aren't hearing about. So why don't you...
Oh my God. Here we go. Here's the boomer power hour where I'm going to tell you Israel is the most moral nation on the planet. Israel is right and all of its enemies wrong. Israel had no choice but to fucking dominate this entire region. Israel had no choice. That's it. You know, you just simply don't understand. You don't have a high enough IQ to understand why Israel must behave and operate this apartheid regime for 76 fucking years. He'll bring up the Holocaust. He'll say that the Palestinians have always have never been a partner in peace. Israel is the most moral democracy on the planet. Am Israel high?
Let me be your spirit guide through this. But before I do, let me tell you a little about myself, since you may have no idea who I am, considering that when this show went on the air, you were barely old enough to be told you were in.
Yeah. You're too young. It's like, dude, what do you mean? What is being shown on your algorithm? What's being shown on their algorithm is literally fucking dead children with American bombs. That's it. When I see that, I'm like, we got to stop this no matter what. Okay. I see that and I think to myself, even if I was uninitiated, even if I was completely uninitiated with the subject matter, I'd be like, that's wrong. No matter who's doing it, we should put an end to it. But of course, the boomer mind is so much more complicated than that. The boomer mind looks at that and goes, well, what were they wearing? What were the babies wearing? Were they asking for it? What are the vibes of the baby that got fucking mutilated? Okay? Annihilated with American weapons. That's it. That's all this 9-minute monologue is him being like, honestly, some of those babies fucking deserve to be ripped apart by American munitions. What color was the baby is the actual question going on through their mind. Oh, 100%.
In the wrong body. So, my name is Bill Maher. I'm 35. I've been to all of Diddy's freak-off parties, and I work at the same place as Euphoria. In fact, she's right down the hall. My TikTok handle is BeNasty, and I go live every Friday night with the anime filter on. And I once won a smoke-off against Willie Nelson, Woody Harrelson, and Snoop.
Dude, honestly, I mean, these people are going to die soon, so there's not really much else to say. They're going to die soon, and they live miserable fucking lives anyway because all of their immediate relatives are no longer answering their fucking phone calls, you know? That's not me being like, oh, like, I hope they die or anything. I'm just saying, like, time will run its course. If you are the type of person that's, like, laughing your fucking ass off at this shit, that's it. You got, like, maximum a decade remaining in your lifespan. Maximum. Okay? That's it. It's like, you young wokes. You're so stupid. Doing your gender. It's crazy. Can we listen to someone less odious instead? Maybe Ben Shapiro. Unironically, Ben Shapiro comes across more likable. At least he's more honest in his like a bloodlust and doesn't present it in this like incredibly arrogant fucking way that Bill Maher does, where he's like, I know more than you. Dude, what you're saying up until this point is no different than like Clay Higgins talking about, oh, you wokes did your gender under your woke sky and now nuclear holocaust is upon us. It's like, it's the same shit. You're just more annoying. Like at least Bill Higgins is like, or Clay Higgins is funny. You know? Clay Higgins put out bangers, dude, at the fucking Auschwitz concentration camp, death camp. He put out a goddamn banger out there. You ain't done shit. Last time you had a good moment was when you said The fucking 19 hijackers were brave for fucking diving into the Twin Towers. That's the last time this motherfucker said anything remotely fucking considerate, brave, bold, radical, edgy. Make people question themselves. And ever since then, it's been down fucking hill, dude. Oh yeah, he did say the N-word as well. But again, that's in column B, not column A.
Okay, that one's true. But no, look, truth be told, I'm a baby boomer. I remember phone booths and cars with ashtrays and vaginal sex. And I didn't learn about the Middle East from TikTok, which is a Chinese company whose totalitarian government would just love to have America's youth hating America.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh, God. Oh, brother. There's so much right-wing nonsense on TikTok, and it's very interesting that they never talk about that shit. I guess they don't give a fuck when it's like right-wingers criticizing America. That's like genuine American invention, right? You can have that on every social media platform, but God forbid you have some leftists that like gain prominence on the fucking platform, you know? Then it's like, oh, China is trying to kill America by teaching the youth that America is bad. You know? If you don't want people to feel like America is a shitty goddamn country, then maybe you shouldn't give $20 billion in weapons to a genocidal apartheid regime instead of, I don't know, fixing the fucking roads or engaging in student loan debt relief or, I don't know, universal health care. You know, we're the richest nation on the fucking planet.
That's some of that algorithm stuff you say you want to look into. Now, first off, the fact that you don't know much history isn't your fault. You live in the United States, where the schools stopped doing that whole teaching facts thing a while ago. But getting all your history from TikTok is like getting all your calories from Hostess. I know you're moved by what you see on there. We all are, the dead Palestinian bodies. But it's odd that your generation didn't seem nearly as moved by the Jewish bodies on October 7th.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's awesome. Yeah, dude. Every 17-year-old, like non-binary teenager actually also has this like deep resentment towards Israel that they were basically fucking primed with. No, dog. For many people in this generation, they were shocked at the horrors of October 7th. They were like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And then for 12 months, they realized, slowly but surely, oh my God, this is what Israel has been doing this whole fucking time? And they were like, yeah, I think they're probably a lot worse than the motherfuckers during October 7, which is true. Like mathematically, it is true. Okay. Israel's actions post October 7 are infinitely worse than what Hamas did on October 7. This is like mathematically correct. The only way that you would disagree with this is if you genuinely think that Israelis are human beings and everyone else is not. Okay. Like even if you were to put Hamas and Israel, a nuclearized militant state that is conducting an apartheid on the same moral playing field, even though they are not. One is a violent resistance group, okay, born out of necessity. The other is literally America's fucking unsinkable aircraft carrier, okay, doing unimaginable violence. But even if you were to place it on the same moral playing field, you know, even if you were to do a both sides type argument, Israel still is infinitely worse. That's it. It's infinitely worse. And they are not on the same moral playing field anyway.
You killed at Coachella this year, but when Hamas kills at a music festival, it's a whole other thing. Doesn't the sight of so many young...
Oh, why didn't they laugh at that joke? Because there was no applause break. That's why. They probably were like, don't laugh at that. Those fucking cackling hyenas, dude.
women raped at a music festival? Make it a little personal? My guess is that Gen Z hearts are hardened by the propaganda you see on TikTok, which likes to call the Jews colonizers. But
No, they call Israel a colonial entity, which is historically correct. I need people to understand something, by the way. I need people to understand something. The academic consensus on the matter is not on Bill Maher nor the media side, okay? No matter how much pro-Israel people try to suppress the truth, okay? In all of these institutes of higher learning, no matter how aggressively they stamp any kind of anti-Zionist sentiment, the truth and the academic consensus on the matter remains. That's it. And you do not have to look any further than early Zionist leadership themselves that considered Zionism to be a colonial movement. And I'm not even talking about fucking Jabotinsky, who obviously is even more aggressive than Herzl. Herzl himself also considered it to be a colonial endeavor. But they aren't colonists. If you look at Israeli government data, it shows 70% of Jews are from the region. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? 33 month subscriber. Are you insane? That is completely, that is a ridiculous fucking statement. What do you mean Israeli government data that says 70% of Jews are from that region? The fuck are you talking about, dude? Look, I'm not going to do this whole thing where it's like, oh, it seems like these guys are really white, or oh, look at that, a Middle Eastern accent. Whenever you fucking hear, some Scottish person literally rolling a dick rider I saw that pulled that cherry pick shit out of their ass. Oh. This person is just simply repeating talking point that some fucking dumbass mentioned. That is not the case, for the record. It is not. 70% of Jews in Israel are not from the region. Also, what do you mean the region? If you mean MENA, okay, yes. A lot of Israeli Jews are Arab and North African. That is true. The Mizrahi Jewish part of Israel is from, I guess, surrounding countries. That doesn't mean they are from historic Palestine.
colonizers are intruders who have no history in an area, like when Spain conquered the Mayans, or when your mom took over Facebook.
If I recall correctly, Mizrahi is also second-class citizenship. No, it's not. Not anymore. It used to be. It used to be originally. It's not anymore.
When the Dutch took over South Africa, they had no history to the land. They just wanted it. But Israel is the Jews' homeland, and Jews have always lived there. I cap you not. You can look it up. It's in this book called The Bible.
Oh my science. I'm here to own you by sourcing the Bible. Epic memes. I'm an atheist, by the way. That's awesome, dude. La source, the Bible. Dude, why is every atheist like this? Whenever it comes, dude, what is going on? This guy did the Religulous documentary. Hello? Base department calling La Bible for my epic takedown? What's next, dude? Are you fucking anti-gay? Source, La Bible? La Bible much? I've decided I'm not wearing two different kinds of cotton or two different kinds of fucking wool and cotton. I'm not going to be mixing that. No more polyester for me. Source, La Bible. What a fucking idiot, dude. What are you doing? What the fuck? This guy, dude. This guy.
Which is horribly wrong about sex ed, slavery, science, and cooking, but the archaeology checks out.
Oh, he's like, the Bible, wrong about everything except for the thing that I agree with. Ah! Ah! Oh, got it, dude. Sick. Sick argument, dude. Fuck. What now, libtards? I found a coin. Source, the Bible. This justifies the ethnic displacement of 750,000 people that were living in these villages for hundreds of years. Source, the Bible. Also, the coin I found. Sick, man. Sick. What a fantastic argument, dude. Yeah.
It says the Jews built a temple with a really big wall 7 centuries before Muhammad or Islam ever existed, and sure as shit, you can still go there and touch it. Calling Jews colonizers in Israel is like calling Native Americans colonizers here. It's
oh my God. Oh my God. I can't, dude. This kind of shit does not work on anyone, okay? This barely is an argument that maybe my Jewish anti-Zionist chatters will fucking agree with here. This barely works on like people that are going to, I don't know, Jewish camp or something as a child. Okay? It's ridiculous. Does he think Palestinians are modern Saudis? I don't think he understands anything. I don't think he understands that, like, the people that remained behind first converted to Christianity and then Islam as well. And that, you know, it doesn't really fucking matter because you can't. There is no world where Native Americans would ever agree to this either, by the way. But there's no world where like an alien force comes in and starts nuking America and then is like, we're going to give every area that we nuked back to the Native Americans. That would be fucking ridiculous. And it's not something that the natives want anyway. Like when natives talk about land back, they're not talking about like fucking massacring random American children and all of them, like making them subjects of a colonial occupation for almost a century. It's all, yeah, it's like uniquely gross. It's a uniquely gross way to just like invoke the natives, which, by the way, Bill Maher on any given Sunday would be making fun of, for the record. Aren't you Muslim? Being gay is prohibited as well. Yeah, it's all good when I fucked your dad in the ass. That shit was halal, baby. Okay? The way he was fucking moaning and screaming after he said the Shahada too. I converted him to Islam. I fucked your father in the ass. And then he converted to Islam. He reverted. Dumbass. He said it was a religious experience.
Ridiculous. Chappell, did you know that for 2,000 years, Palestine was like an Uber driver with a 3-star rating? Nobody wanted it.
I love that he's literally regurgitating like boomer ass, like a land without a people with for a people without a land shit. Yeah, dude. There was so little people there that 750,000 of them had to be forcefully removed from their homes, never to be returned. Like, what the fuck are you saying? God, I fucking hate. I think maybe it's because I interact with them more. Like, I think like liberal Holocaust denial of this sort is more annoying than Republican Holocaust denial, because that one is like so overt. You know what I mean? That one is so in your face and you're so used to it. Your expectation is that like when someone is a fucking right-wing monstrous piece of shit, like they're gonna do that. But when liberals engage in this kind of fucking horse shit, it's just, there's also this intellectual, smarmy, elitist patina. And you're like, oh, you're so smug. You're just as dumb as the fucking Republicans that you think you're better than, but you're not. You're gross. You're a gross, disgusting, monstrous little cretin. Ooh, it's fucking so goddamn annoying. This is why I know there is no fucking, not to be like, not to get all atheists on this shit, but like, this is why I know there cannot be a fucking God, okay? Because goddamn, there would be some biblical style punishment that this motherfucker would be getting dished out for being this smug, this consistently, and this horrifyingly, monstrously. This much on the main, too. Like, there can't be. So, in a way, Bill Maher reaffirming atheism everywhere. Because if there was a fucking God, if there was a God, you would be getting biblical style punished, okay? Like, straight up. 7-generation curse on your entire family type shit, okay? Like, look at his fucking ugly ass face. You like what I did there? No one wanted to live in Palestine. Like, if God was real, there would be a sinkhole opening up under the fucking Bill Maher studio right at this very moment, sucking every single fucking animal that's laughing at his awful boomer jokes alongside him.
And there was never any Arab country called Palestine. It was an orphan province. And if you ask people what they thought about it back then, they'd say it gave them the ick.
What?
But after World War II, and after the Jews were very nearly wiped,
colonialism is not a disturbance of some romantic natural ethnic order of the land. It is a practice of dispossession and control. When Joseph Weitz, the head of JNF's land division in the British Mandate, says, "There's no place for compromise, transfer them all, don't let a single village remain," he's articulating this zero-sum settler colonial logic, one which he carried out himself when he evicted countless villages. And he should know he was on Ben-Gurion's transfer committee. I think the only difference is, like, it's happening so close. Like, it's happening in broad daylight in front of our eyes, and we are getting to see it step by step. And even, like, the beginning stages are not that far. The fucking president was alive when this shit was happening. You know what I mean? Like, that's how close we are generationally to the inception of Israel as a settler colonial entity in the region. So it's hard to read in the history books all of the things that, like, American pioneers did, you know what I mean? Rape and pillage and destroy the land and engaging, like, ethnic cleansing of the indigenous population, and then watch it unfold in front of our eyes and go, no, that's actually super sick. Like, that's totally fine. I like that they're doing that. It's hard. It's hard to do that. Either you have to be more honest in the way that Republicans are and be like, that's CRT, that's woke, that's gender, that's fucking, that should not be taught in schools, that's DEI, and just, like, rewrite history even more so than we have in terms of, like, whitewashing the indigenous genocide. Like, if you're going to do might is right, at least the Republicans are honest about it. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing might is right more honestly than this fucking dipshit is.
Out by an actual attempted genocide, they decided it was time for their historic homeland to be an actual country.
I used to think when reading about the founding of Israel as a teenager that people were just unaware of it, that people are just morally good and don't know. But now I have a front row seat to watch people engage in this voyeuristic pleasure of watching genocide, and I think my faith in humanity is gone. and it was always misplaced. No, I think most people are misguided still, and they can learn. But if they're not taught the right lessons, they will turn into the current German society, German liberals, German governance, because they did this shit, and look what they're doing now.
So that for once they could defend themselves. And the UN, we like them, right? Yeah, they agreed and voted a country for each.
Dude, like invoking the UN right now is so funny when Israel is like on the boundary of the UNIFIL units that were placed on the blue line inside of Lebanese borders, and they're like about to fucking kill a bunch of European UNIFIL members. It's just like, dude, you don't give a fuck about the UN. Why are you invoking the UN? What a stupid fucking argument. Like the UN has made the most statements. Like the one country that they've like yelled about the most is Israel.
Of the indigenous peoples. One side agreed to that, but the Arabs had a slightly different proposal.
That's crazy. I can't believe that the Arabs didn't agree to the proposal where they would give like 20 or 30% of the population 52% of the land, dude. That's crazy. Also, Arabs is a monolithic group. They're all one unit, one mind, one soul, one body. These barbaric hordes wanted to come after the beautiful state of Israel that was supposed to be created there.
They said, how about we keep it all and wipe you out? Chappell, if you think it was repressive growing up queer in the Midwest, try the Mideast. You're a female drag queen, and you sing, I fucked you in the bathroom when we went to dinner, your parents at the table. Yeah, that wouldn't fly in Gaza, although you would straight off a roof.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You would fly straight off of a roof when Israel fucking blew off the roof, dumbass. Shut the fuck up, you Islamophobic piece of shit, dude. The idea that like, oh, dude, gays are being thrown off roofs in Gaza. First of all, there are no roofs left in Gaza. We blew them all up, okay? So that's number one. Number two, this notion that like every fucking Arab is like waiting for someone to be suspected of being gay so they can throw them off roofs is fucking ridiculous when Israel literally threw off Palestinians off of the roof in Occupy West Bank the other fucking week. We watched it happen. It's on camera. Israeli soldiers kicking off Palestinians off the side of a fucking roof, dude. Off the side of a rooftop in West Bank on video. And these motherfuckers, these monstrous pieces of shit are like, oh, dude, they're going to do ISIS-style shit any day now. What if you were gay in Gaza? I don't know. You would fucking die. Not because Hamas would kill you, by the way, because Israel would kill you. Israel has killed how many gay people in Gaza? Who knows?
The same goes for knee-deep on the passenger seat and you're eating me out. Yeah, my guess is the morality police would figure out that one's not about the drive-thru.
The morality police, dude. Number one ally to fucking Israel, for the record, Saudi Arabia, morality police.
And kill your feather boa-wearing ass. You know when you sing that LA is where boys and girls can all be queens every single day? You're welcome, but offer not good in the West Bank. Chappell, you're not wrong that oppression is bad, or that Palestinian and many other Muslim populations are oppressed and deserve to be freed. You just have it completely ass backwards as to who is doing the oppressing.
Yeah, it's Hamas. They have to be freed from Hamas, which is Israel. Israel's doing that, right? Just like Lebanese people have to be freed from Hezbollah. Palestinian people have to be freed from Hamas. Okay, Israel has to be freed from Likud and the Jewish Power Party. By your analysis, that means we have to nuke Tel Aviv. Like, what are you talking about? Would anyone be on board with that? That would be unacceptable, okay? Completely fucking unacceptable, especially for the 8 Hasanabi heads living in Israel right now. I hope you guys are safe. Don't fucking Fed post in the chat. You guys are so stupid. Immediately, you're like, yeah.
Hamas is a terrorist mafia that took over Gaza. The Revolutionary Guard is a terrorist mafia that took over Iran. ISIS is a terrorist mafia that took over.
ISIS and Israel are like this, okay? ISIS and Israel, both in application and method, bastardization of religion, using religion as a fucking galvanizing principle, are literally like this. Israel has also collaborated with ISIS, regardless of what Marwan, the fucking Syrian goat, has to say in the chat. So, you know, it's just weird. It's like ISIS never attacks Israel. It's just odd. I don't know. It's weird to me that this peak like Islamic scourge is somehow always finding themselves exclusively butchering, slaughtering the Yazidi population, the Muslim population. It must be a coincidence. I don't know.
Iraq. The Taliban is a terrorist mafia that took over Afghanistan. These are the oppressors. And when you make it all about Israel, you take the pressure off of them. You enable them. The Iranian regime has killed 600 protesters after a 22-year-old woman died in police custody.
Dude, there is nothing funnier than fucking talking about a fucking anti-Iranian government protester being fucking slaughtered. You're literally saying that you only care when you can use Muslims as a fucking talking point, okay? You're using regional actors, like people that are in the region, as a fucking talking point. That's it. That's it. You're literally saying Israel gets to kill as many people as they want, including Kurds living in Iran, and you can't say a goddamn thing about it. But God forbid anyone else kills them, then we'll use it as a talking point to justify Israel killing all of these other people. Wait, can you put my car back in the garage, please? Thank you.
Following her arrest for the crime of wearing her head covering in...
This is why, by the way, this is why it was so frustrating during the Al Ahli hospital explosion, not the Al Shifa one, not the new Al Aqsa one. The Al Ahli one was the first like big major thing that happened, right? Where Israel was like, no, it was actually Hamas rockets that blew up on the courtyard. And then they were like, no, it's actually Islamic Jihad, Palestinian Islamic Jihad rockets that blew up in the courtyard. And everyone was like, Israel would never blow up a hospital. It was actually, Palestinians that blew up the hospital. And everyone was condemning the Palestinians over and over again. They were like, oh, the Palestinian resistance, they blew up their own people. They're fucking, this death and destruction is unimaginable. When they were doing that, when everyone was chirping about that, okay, I could not believe it. Because Israel had shelled that exact same hospital 2 days prior, Al Ahli. But not only that, but Israel had already killed thousands of Palestinians. So basically, the entire world's sentiment on that moment, the entire world's sentiment in that moment was Israel gets to kill as many Palestinians as possible. They're doing the best job when they do that. This was before they fucking invaded and blew up every single hospital in Gaza, by the way. But at that point, they were like, Israel would never blow up a hospital, which was obviously a fucking lie. But then beyond that, the idea was it is only appropriate for Israel to kill Palestinians, okay? As an accident, even if this was an accident, which there is no evidence that it was, okay? Still, to this day, by the way, we never found out who actually was responsible for this explosion in the courtyard. But it didn't even matter because ultimately they blew up every fucking hospital. They literally blew up a tent city last night. This pathetic excuse of a human being's politics just comes down to looking for perceived hypocrisy and a shock at violence, then proceed with complete apathy at the horrors being carried out in front of his eyes because that's war, and spew some history he learned on an evangelical YouTube ad. He's like a fucking child. When Hamas murders civilians, everyone needs to be shocked because nothing can justify it. But when Israel slaughters them in the tens of thousands, there's context. Exactly. Well, the context is that he is perceiving that like Hamas is slaughtering civilians. That's the context.
Incorrectly. Just to be clear, that's your team. Iran is who sponsors Hamas and Hezbollah. Are you sure this is who you want to throw down with? Meryl Streep spoke at the UN recently and said this about the Taliban, who are only slightly more conservative than your heroes in Hamas. She said, today in Kabul, A female cat has more freedoms than a woman. A cat may go sit on her front stoop and feel the sun on her face. She may...
Yeah, it's really fucked up. If only we hadn't armed them, radicalized them, used them as a fucking cudgel in the Afghan civil war, used them as a fucking force against the USSR that was invading Afghanistan in the aftermath of said civil war, during the same civil war, and then gave them Afghanistan, then invaded Afghanistan again, fought and killed a shit ton of Afghan civilians for 20 years of our occupation, only to give them the country once again. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, refused to give the current governance of Afghanistan their own money that we still have seized. You want the people who bomb 40,000 plus people as our allies, lol. Maher has to use a quote about Afghanistan because there aren't examples about Gaza. I know. But again, it goes back to the monolithizing the entire Arab population, including the Taliban, which is not even fucking Arab. Like everyone in the MENA region, including in the southeastern part of the fucking continent, are all the same. What could be the one factor? If we went to war in Malaysia or Indonesia, he'd probably be chirping in the same exact way because it's Islam, okay? Central Asia, South Asia, it's all the same. If you're Muslim, even remotely Muslim or around other Muslims, you're fucking terrorist, okay?
They chase a squirrel into the park. A squirrel has more rights than a girl in Afghanistan today. A bird may sing in Kabul, but a girl may not. You're a singer, and you're advocating for a place and a culture you would never want to live under. Gender may not be binary, but right and wrong kind of is.
Oh, is this guy on APAC payroll? No, dude, he's just a fucking disgusting little cretin. Here's a fun Bill Maher clip. Apparently, Tiana Trump, the porn star, recalls when Bill Maher paid her to have sex with him and to go slowly and kiss him as if she loved him. This account says he's a pathetic, lonely, unlovable man whose lack of humanity comes through in his relationships as well as his indifference to genocide.
This is how I got hooked up with him. Some porn star had hit me up. Apparently, he likes this. I'm probably gonna give it away. Black girls.
Yeah. Look, Bill Maher loves black girls. Is it Bill Maher?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, but he's not a politician.
She said he had a political show.
Okay, so he's got a political show. I tell you what, to make you feel even more comfortable then, right? I've been a Hollywood dude for a long time. Bill Maher, I feel, and this is totally genuine, I feel his whole position and his whole shit as a comedian for the last 20 years.
I think one of the craziest parts about this entire 9-minute monologue, by the way, is that if everything Bill Maher said was true, okay, which none of which was, but even if everything he said was true, if like literally Palestinian authorities are, they love killing gay people, like for sport, okay? Killing 40,000 Palestinians is not the solution to it. So not only is what he's saying not true, but the fucking justification for it is still so senselessly idiotic. But that's the one speed that they have. Like, he's like, yeah, we have to eradicate the entirety of the Palestinians because they're a scourge on the population. Also, it's really sad when Palestinians are throwing other Palestinians who happen to be gay off roofs, which, by the way, they don't. But even then, even if they did, it would still not be a justification for genocide.